My name is Leah Thomas. I'm a transgender woman, a former college swimmer, and the first trans athlete to be named Division I NCAA champion. I started swimming when I was 5 years old, and it has taught me so much. It has given me so many opportunities to learn, grow, develop, and connect with my peers. Opportunities that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't have access to athletics. That's why it breaks my heart to see trans kids across the country lose out on these opportunities. The Department of Education has proposed a new rule for Title IX regarding transgender athletes. This rule would prohibit blanket bans on transgender kids, especially in grades K through 8. However, it would not prohibit discrimination against trans kids in the high school and college levels under the guise of competitive fairness.
Let's be specific. You don't really mean trans, because I don't think many trans are going to take advantage of this. I think to be exactly, it's going to be biological men who have been swimming against men, and suddenly they're gonna be like, hey, I think I can identify as a woman because of this and this reason, and suddenly it's going to be the first place, the second place, and the third place, and only then you would say, well, I think it might be a disadvantage, because in the future, in the next 10 years, if this is not on, women's sport won't exist.
This rule is a good start. However, it is not enough. During this time of intense anti-trans backlash, the trans community needs explicit protections from discrimination in order to live our lives freely and equally. Luckily, this rule is not final. We have a 30-day period to urge the Biden administration to amend the rule and grant equal protection for all transgender kids, because all trans kids deserve the opportunity to compete and play in the sports they love without compromising who they are. Join me in commenting on this proposed rule and demanding equal protection for all transgender athletes.
Officially, you deserve equal protection as the gender that you were born, not as the gender that you want to identify. Because to be honest, the amount of testosterone that you might have in your body
These nuts
is way higher than the second place biological woman in your freaking team. So let's judge it on that level. There was a lady once, I believe she was from Africa, and her testosterone was too high. And I thought, but hey, that's a biological woman. If she has an advantage, let her do her thing. No, they were like, no, too much testosterone, it's unfair. I'm like, okay, kind of weird rule, but hey, it's a woman, she was born in a specific generation, they're supposed to win. That is my take. But imagine now if we go calculate all the hormones of the ladies that were previously men, especially when they did the sport previously, and you're like, well, we kind of lowered the testosterone by half, 3/3 or whatever, and I'm like, it's still way higher than the ladies. So suddenly a biological woman cannot play by that rule, but a non-biological woman can play by that rule?
Oh, damn.
It seems very unfair. So if you want to say that, I think you're very disingenuous. So to me, to my opinion in this situation, I don't think you deserve to play a sport unless it's in your own category.
I'm sorry.
Very simple, because I don't see trans men go to a man's sport and be like, I want to participate. It's not happening. It's all about taking advantage and feel very good about yourself, which I know you need. But if you don't recognize what you're doing on the other side, as if your freedom is not taking the freedom of somebody else, I think that is not a fair game. So my apologies.
Asking about the greater issue of transgenderism, Dylan Mulvaney, of course, is what kicked all of this off. What do you think about men taking the role of women and taking really women's places in advertising, in sports, playing against them? And this seems like an existential threat to women. And
total fraud.
as fathers of daughters.
You have a swimmer that competes on the men's team for 3 years at Penn and then switches to the women's team and then wins the 500-yard freestyle national championship for women when you're a mediocre male swimmer and now you win the women's. And so you had a second place finisher. She was actually from Sarasota. She should have been the national champion. I did a proclamation from our office saying she was the best woman swimmer in 500 yard because she was. And so some of this is, yes, it's taking away opportunities in athletics and some other stuff, and that's really, really important. But I think there's also just the issue of, are we going to be a society based on truth, or are we going to be a society based on deceit? And if you take a man and they dress up as a woman and you tell me I have to accept that they're a woman, then you're asking me to be complicit in a lie. And I just refuse to do that. So we've got to tell the truth. I think, you know, the truth will set you free, and let's just be honest about what's going on here. That swimmer was not the best women's 500-yard champion. Okay, the number 2 one was the best women. So that's just the bottom line. But you know, I've got 6-year-old daughter, 5-year-old son, 3-year-old daughter. The 3-year-old just started t-ball. She's whacking the ball.
Yeah.
They're good athletes. They like to do different things. So you want to have opportunities. And we got on this very early in Florida. We did this a couple years ago where we did the women's sports protection. So that's been the law here for several years now.
And that's it. Let me know what you guys think about the whole situation. Like, share, hit the bell notification, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Convida-me a tua iniciativa Padrei ku indica e também que sum sativa Te ainda não quer aceitar ku eta medicina Bob di nang di eta causa rebeldia Ku quem